what you want to do is set up logs like that. 1, 2, 3, and then this way. And make them pretty tight, but make sure they're pointing up like that, or like this. You have these corners, and boom. And now we're just gonna set up this stuff, smaller wigs, and set up a smaller fire from the top, and it's slowly gonna burn layer by layer, and it's gonna last you pretty long. As you can see, I used a lot of small wigs to set a layer fire right here, so the big logs will catch on. As you can see, our fire is on and it's pretty hot now. This first two is already light up. The first they're gonna burn out, and like a ladder, slowly, one by one layer. It's gonna last you a long time. You don't have to add any more wood for a while. Alright guys, here you go. This is all on fire. It's gonna last pretty long, and I don't really have to show you anymore what's gonna happen next. What you're going to do is grab 3 logs and set them up just like this. 1, 2, and 3, just next to each other. Then of course you want to grab small twigs and put it in between of them. Then we're going to light it up. I like to use these fire starters. I'm gonna show you how I made them later. And what I'm gonna do is just light one of these things up. Should catch on pretty easily. You see it's burning. Then I'm gonna put it over there. Once this fire is gone, put another log and just smoosh it right into here. Fire coming out from the logs now, just the logs are burning, and we can set our pot and we can boil water pretty easily, and the pot is sitting over there really comfortably, so it's not gonna fall off, and boil water really fast because all the heat coming right from the bottom into the pot. Check this out. You see how it's burning just from the logs? Awesome. You see how it's burning off from the inside? That's what we want, because it's gonna burn for a very long time. First of all, we need to cut out the log. This will do. This is big enough, and we want to get some flint like this one. That's perfect. This one will do. Beautiful. And it's pretty dry. Next, what I'm gonna do is cut it at least 2 times, because the log is not too big, so I think just 1 cut and second cut right here. Let's see what it looks like. That's plenty, like this. The log is a little bit sideways, so I cut it a little bit sideways, so well. And then one more cut like this. You know what? We could probably go one more time. There you go. Boom. That's a little bit of overkill, but I just wanted to make it look really good for the thumbnail. But look at that. You have so many ventilation holes. So now we're just gonna stuff it up with the small pieces in there and light it up, and we'll see how it's going to burn. Then what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of fire starter in there, just to get it going much easier. You can just put a bunch of twigs instead, whatever you have. Alright, and now it's burning. Okay guys, I'm gonna let it burn for a while, and let's see what happens in like 30 minutes. You can put small twigs in there, of course, to get that fire going, so that way they'll burn and heat up the actual log. What we're trying to do is actually get the fire big enough so the actual log on the inside start burning. 30 minutes later, if we look inside of the log, let me blow inside there so that way you can see. The actual log is starting to burn. All the little sticks and fire starters burn out. Now it's going. I'm gonna wait another maybe 20 minutes and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. It's burning so well now. Now you can put a pot like this, or you can even put a bigger pot. I filled it up with water all the way. Let's see how fast it's going to boil the water. I don't even have to have any kind of pot holder or anything. Look at that on the inside. With all that wind, it's just keeping it hotter and hotter. Maybe a couple more minutes and that water is going to start boiling. I can see bubbles in there already. Gonna let it a little bit longer. And I love it that the flame concentrated in the middle, so my handles are not really burning out that much. And also the flame is big enough too to actually warm up from it. If you sit close by to it, love it. Oh yeah, the wind actually helps it to burn even better. As you can see, there's so much oxygen going to. Wow, it's so hot now, even hotter than it used to be. That's insane. Oh, and we got our water really boiling with that gust of wind. Now I can make tea, whatever. That's so cool. What's up guys? For today's video I'm going to show you how to make fire burning last all night. Especially when you're camping, that's a great trick. One time I was in Hawaii with my friends and it was actually really cold. We were camping out on a canyon, and one thing I did not think in Hawaii, that I was going to be cold. And you know what? Fire was keep burning out and we would constantly have to wake up, find some more firewood, put in a fire. Well, this trick, once you find the good logs, will actually keep you warm all night. Well, let's check out how it's done. The only thing you will need is an axe or even lighter folding saw. This is pretty decent log. We're gonna cut it up and we're going to make a fire last all night. What I'm gonna do is use this katana folding saw, and let's see how long it will take me to cut off a piece of log like this. It shouldn't take too long because this thing is powerful. Look at that. I'm already halfway and it only took me a minute. I love this thing. Of course, pace yourself, you don't want to burn out. Alright, a little bit more and we got this. I haven't even lost the breath yet. This is awesome. Nice. I'm feeling it in my arms, but as you can see, I'm breathing fine. So now I need to make another log just like that, same size, not too big. Next, you want to get a couple of small sticks like this and cut out a little dent inside of them from both sides. I'll show you why we do that in a minute. Next step, I'm going to show you how to set it all up. There's two big logs. One is bigger, the other one is smaller. Just a tiny bit smaller, but pretty much similar size. You can actually use similar size anyways. This is why we cut these things out, to lay it like this on one side and on the other side like this. You want straight logs as possible. This ones will do, and boom. And you see now both logs sitting on each other pretty well, and there's a little bit of space between the logs. What we're going to do is fill it up with little sticks in there, right in between of it, because little sticks, that's how we're going to start the fire with. One more thing I forgot to do, we gotta take off all that bark. So you don't need an axe, would be nice. So just make a bunch of chips like that, so that way it will be easier to get that log on fire. There you go. Get that bark off and make a bunch of notches. Also, to get this wet logs on fire, you will need a lot of small twigs. This right here, just to get the small twigs going on fire. But I need smaller twigs than this. Okay, hopefully it will work the second time. Okay, that looks good. These two little logs I wish would be a little bit better or bigger, so that way they would hold a little bit better. But want some of this start burn off, it's going to start holding those two little big logs. Okay, let's light it up. Today I'll just use a lighter. I had a bunch of brush over here that I light up as well. As you can see, it's burning really well. Because they're sitting like that on these two little logs, the air, the oxygen going through very easily from both sides. So that way the fire can really burn very, very well, because there is a high flow of oxygen, like a big chimney from both sides. So that way, even when the little sticks burn off, look at that. Within 10 minutes, this log is already charring really well, especially from underneath over there. In about 30 minutes, we won't even need to add on any more sticks. And boom, guys, there you go. Check this out. Look at this fire right now. The little twigs are still burning, but because of all this fire elevated, it gives off a lot of heat. Even on a cold night like this, it would be very, very perfect actually to warm yourself up, cook up some s'mores. It's just amazing. Now, as you can see, the actual log is burning. This one cracked in the middle and it's burning really well. So this whole log is gonna burn for a while, because look how thick that is. And it's definitely, especially right here, the log is burning so hot. I'm not worried about these logs are going out anytime soon. Look how big they are. And there's so much heat coming off from here right now. That's insane. You see how hot those logs are burning in between there? So if you want to have a bonfire last a very long time, you want to use this technique. That way you don't have to keep adding on more fire, and it giving off a lot of heat. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make Swedish torch. Once again, but very, very different. Most of the time you probably will not have a chainsaw when you're out camping or something like that. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make Swedish torch with the smaller logs like this. It's more like branches. You can find them broken off all over in the forest. Anyway, let me show you how I'm gonna do it. The only tool we will need is a folding saw or a hatchet, whatever you prefer. I got here a very tiny folding saw, and what we're going to do is cut off these branches into manageable pieces. And this folding saw is a Corona folding saw. I think it's 16 inches. Look how fast we got through it. And we got pieces like this. I'll make them same level. So I'm just gonna cut off this little piece right here. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, up to you. So I'm gonna measure this out and cut about the same size. Cool. Start it out and just finish it off. So as you can see, a little bit of cutting to do, but these branches are really easy to cut. They're going to burn a lot faster too, not as long as the log, because the wood is not as dense. As you can see, it's much smaller branches, so they're going to burn out a lot faster. Then we're going to get the big pieces first, put them on the outside. Oh yeah, by the way, the wine is gonna go under those. There you go. Then couple smaller pieces in the middle. Then the bigger piece is gonna go on the outside again. But by the way, we wanna put some grass in the middle first of all. But makes sense. So then we're going to tie it up at the bottom right here. And instead of making actual knot, we can just over twine it a couple of times. That's it. We don't want to use actual knot because it's just gonna break off. Flip it over a couple of times like this, and one more times right here is going to hold. And then we're going to stamp this up, and then we're going to set on fire all the grass inside of it, and it should burn in a little bit. And also, just like in the original Swedish torch, you can still put a pot on it and boil water. Boom. As you can see, it's very, very hot. Look at that. big flame. We're gonna be here forever waiting on it to go off. So I'm just gonna take it apart now. This is still a lot of hot coals out here. Chainsaw rocket stove out of the log. Let's see how it's done. So we got here a log. What I'm gonna do is cut it a little bit more than half on this side. Then we're gonna flip it over like this and cut it down this way. And boom, that's what we got right here. Something like that. So now what I'm gonna do is cut this like this in half once again. Boom. Something like that. Boom. Wow, this is a nice chunk to start a fire with. All these little chunks, we're gonna use it. So then if we're going to put everything together like Legos, it should fit right back. Then I'll pick out the bigger piece and once again cut it right here. So this is what it's going to look like, but we need a little piece to be cut out right here, but so it's still standing, and I think I'm gonna do it right here. Once you cut it all out, then next we're going to put it all in like this. And you see this cut out piece also gonna go like that. So now we have the top right here and the entrance. Of course we're gonna stuff it all with these shavings, drive shavings, and this is what it's going to look like. It's like a Swedish torch, but more like a rocket stove at the same time. Beautiful design, don't you think? We got here a good big flame down here, so what you can do is lay a few rocks like this, make sure they lay really good, and 3. And of course you can set a pot up like this so that the flame can go through under there, right on the pot. Look at it, it's surrounding the pot so much. It's been burning for like at least 2 hours, and as you can see, not even halfway burned through, and it's a medium-sized log. If you get a bigger log, it's going to burn for even longer. And the third log is gonna go on top right here, and this is pine. Easy to light it up. But also, before you're gonna do that, get your axe or a chainsaw. Okay, why did I do that? So that way over here it's easier to start on fire. So that way bark is not in the way. Would be a lot easier if I had an axe, but what you want to do is just take off this bark, because bark is probably all wet. You carve it out so that way it can light up a lot easier. Then we'll need small twigs, and then we're gonna put the other log on top of it like this. Then you start the fire with the small twigs between 2 big logs like this. Boom. And once the fire going really good, then we're going to drop another log on top of it like this, so that way it can cook. It is a little bit windy right now, so it helps a lot to get that fire going, all that wind. And as you can see, that log is burning already. Another amazing thing about this fire to last all night compared to with 2 logs, you can slide out this log right here. Let me push this together a little bit. Now since we moved this log, over here there's a lot of coals. Let me try to blow it. So now we can put a pot on side here or lay a little grill and cook. So it's like now dual purpose. This fire can last all night, and also you got right here a little stove. And once you're done cooking, all you have to do is grab this side and push it back. and boom, we got the fire again. That is going to last a very long time.